the Group of Five guys. Our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs that the mainstream sports media refuses to do. We need your help to do that. We need you to follow us on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Leave a comment. Tell your family and friends all about us. Or you can go to groupof5guys.com and get you some swag. On this episode of Inside Drill, we're on a little run of App State players and coaches, but we've got the most famous player probably in App State history, quarterback that beat Michigan, put the App State brand on the national map, Armanti Edwards, coming up next. We've got the most decorated player in the history of Appalachian State football, a guy that really is the guy that put the brand of App State on the map, of course, with the famous upset over Michigan. The quarterback at that time, Armanti Edwards. Armanti, thank you so much for coming on, man. What's happening?
How you guys doing? And thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming on.
We're good, man. We're big fans of App State. We've been up to Boone a couple of times. Love it a little bit more every time. But haven't been able to get up there this year. Hopefully we get up there early next year, or maybe something shakes out and the conference somehow championship ends up in Boone this year. But let's talk about it, man. The famous Michigan game. So tell me what you were doing on the field goal. Were you looking away? Were you like on a knee? Were you watching?
No, I was watching. I was 100% watching. As you know, the field goal story is kind of funny. We're used to seeing Jerome Touchstone and Corey Lynch literally running past field goals in practice to allow Julian to kick them. That's how good they were at that. They was blocking field goals from my freshman year leading up to that game and throughout the remainder of their career. But the weird thing about it, that people rarely talk about, is that was our second field goal block that game. So it's hard to get one. It's almost impossible for the second one to happen. But for some reason, we still believe that we can get it, and it just so happens that we blocked another one.
That's great. So as that game's going, so I know everybody believes they can win every game, right? But was there a point in that game where you guys were on the sideline in the huddle thinking, oh damn, like we can beat these guys. Like we're in this thing for real. This isn't some fluky upset. Like we're playing with these boys. We got a chance. Was there a moment in that game, or were y'all from the jump?
I don't want to sound cliche, but it was before the game.
Yeah.
As an athlete, it doesn't matter if you're playing football or not. You're already going into the game thinking you're going to lose. Pretty much you're going to get your butt kicked. There's no ifs and buts about it. But I'm not saying it for that reason. I say it because we're coming off back-to-back national titles. We're on a 14-game winning streak. Our last loss is our first game our freshman year. So we haven't lost since then. So it's not that we stepping on the field and thinking, oh, we can hang with Michigan. It's just our confidence is so high now. We haven't lost in literally a year. We forgot how to lose. So it was just all confidence and preparation, and that's all it was.
Obviously, you had a fantastic career at App State, but would love to hear, kind of your journey before that, where you grew up, high school, and then how you eventually found your way in Boone, North Carolina.
I grew up in a small town, Greenwood, South Carolina. Everybody but everybody's heard of Greenville and Spartanburg. So 30 to 45 minutes from that area. We have a rich tradition from football. It's kind of like, just to put in mind of how Alabama players are, where they literally have to sit and wait their turn. That's pretty much our tradition. Quarterbacks before me, we had them win Mr. Football. Go to Georgia Tech, we have guys at Georgia. DJ Swearinger, obviously. If you heard of him, from South Carolina, Josh Norman. These guys are from my high school too. So we had a very rich high school tradition. Another funny story, I was stuck in the middle. Um, when I was in middle school, they won 2 state titles. I get to high school, we don't win any. Literally, my first year in college, they win the state title again. So,
Brutal.
yeah.
You did enough winning in college though. So I mean, do you remember, was there anything specific that made you choose App State?
Yes, I was literally had made up my mind to go to Georgia Southern. So I was fixing to go there. But 2 things happened. First, the coaches got fired. And then App State was a latecomer, so it wasn't something that that was constantly recruiting me. It was weeks before signing day. The week that I was going to visit Georgia Southern and potentially sign, App State called and said they want to schedule a visit for that weekend. And when I talked to my high school head coach, he said App State, he felt that that was the best fit for me pertaining to scheme wise, that they were, shotgun the option, and we did that in high school. So, and I canceled my Georgia Southern visit and went to App, and the rest is history. Signed from there.
So you bring it up. So, well, I know that recruiting wasn't quite what it is today, but Georgia Southern, App State, deeper than hate each other anyways. But did you get a little extra hate from the Georgia Southern fans after that?
I don't know. Hate is hate. So, I don't know if it was more or not. But yeah, that's a great rivalry.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
it
coming
is.
up. So you got a couple weeks. You got a meet and greet. So that's Thanksgiving weekend in Boone, deeper than hate versus Georgia Southern, potentially conference championship game berth on the line. But talk about your meet and greet. Who you going to be with? Who you representing? Anything you got going on with that?
Yeah, it'll be at Boone that Friday. I think that's the 24th from 2 to 4. So we just have a meet and greet. Come out, just have a good time. They will have food there. Obviously, they will have beverages. I will be with House United there from 2 to 4.
Awesome.
So
And that
go
is
ahead.
that is going to be the game where, if I'm not mistaken, they're retiring the number 14. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, what's that? That's got to be an incredible feeling, right? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Still got. I don't have any set emotions right now. Not until recent these past couple of years where I can actually sit down and just look back on my career and look back on the things that I was able to accomplish with the team at App during my college career and stuff. So just knowing that they're retiring that number in my name, that's amazing in itself. But emotions and feelings right now, they sometimes they hide. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, So I guess the time will tell when next week happens.
They are gonna go nuts for you. Just so you're aware. But what's your take on that game? What's your take on the rest of the season? Obviously, you got James Madison, who looks pretty unbeatable right now, and then you got the rivalry game against Georgia Southern. There's still like 4 teams in the East that got a chance to make the championship game. What's your take? You think the Mountaineers are going to get it done?
Yes, I actually not just saying it because I'm being biased, but just based off the last 2 games, I like where they're at. The defense finally seems like they're clicking and they're stopping people. And for people that have watched the games, 1 or 2 plays in those 4 losses, they're easily undefeated right now. So it's not like those losses have been where they've been blown out and like, what the heck is going on? It's been, literally 1 to 2 plays and they've lost off of that. So I like where they're at right now. It seems like they're clicking on all cylinders finally. Obviously, this weekend is going to be the biggest matchup of the season. Try to give James Madison their one and only loss. And Georgia Southern, that's always up in the air when it's a rivalry game. Either team can be 0-10, and they're going to come out like it's the championship game. So I look forward to it, but I think they can definitely finish this season strong going into the bowl season.
100%. Well, Armanti, we appreciate you coming on with us. App State fans or Georgia Southern fans, I guess. If you want to catch them at Booneshine Brewery in Boone, Friday the 24th, so day after Thanksgiving, day before the Deeper Than Hate rivalry game. Probably the guy that, well, not probably, the guy that put App State on the national stage with that big win. So, Armanti, we appreciate you coming on with us, man. Enjoy the rest of your week, and congratulations on getting your jersey retired up there.
All right, thank you, and thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Jeff, dude, what would you do if they were retiring the number 12 in Johnny Red Floyd Stadium? 300 screaming Blue Raider fans in attendance for you, man. I'm jealous. I mean, that's something you dream of, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that is cementing your legacy as a player and the effect that you had on that program. And I don't know if there's anybody that deserves it more than him. I mean, that huge win to open this season too. Like,
Michigan was supposed to win the national championship.
They were
year.
ranked number 5 in the country.
Yeah.
And they go in and
was that Chad Henne? Was it Mario Manningham? Maybe was the receiver. I mean, they had some dudes on that Michigan team.
They had some ballers, man, and like you said, just they believed before the game that they could go up there and do it, and they did. I mean, as far as iconic Power 5 wins, to me, that's up there with Boise State, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Fiesta
Bowl. The crazy thing is they were FCS still. I mean, that's or 1AA at the time, right?
I know.
But like he said though, we talk about that a lot on the show. Like that culture of winning where it doesn't matter. You're so confident all the time. You're used to beating everybody that it doesn't matter who you play. And then at the same time, you have some of these teams that we talk about all the time is they hadn't figured out how to win yet.
Yeah.
And so they're almost like waiting for the thing to happen that's going to lose the game. Yeah. Where, programs like that are just, I mean, it's why a school like James Madison can come up a level and just keep rolling.
Yeah, you just get, used to winning, and you expect to win no matter who's in front of you.
That's right.
And that's what these teams, a few of these teams that have made the jump, have established that culture before the jump, which I think has been crucial to not only App State's success, but James Madison's success and a couple other teams. So it's like, man, when you go into whatever game and you know how to win, especially learning how to win very close ball games down the stretch, that's not something that like just happens overnight. Like you have to figure that out. And, I think it's going to be more and more difficult now with the transfer portal because like before, it's like freshmen and sophomores were sitting around while seniors were winning those close games and you figure out how to do it. Whereas now guys are jumping around. So I think that's something that's going to be a little bit lost.
Yeah. You're not going to have time to build that culture because every year. You might have 50 guys that never won anything coming over to a team. So, but man, again, thank you to Armanti Edwards for coming on. Thank you for House United. If you're an App State fan, give that account. I think it's just at House United on Instagram and Twitter. Give them a follow. They were one of the first like Twitter folks to kind of support the group of 5 guys as we were starting this thing out. We did a little jersey swap with them in Boone the first time we went up there. So really appreciate him. Really appreciate Armanti for coming on. Link up with him at the Booneshine Brewery in Boone, Friday the 24th. So that's next week. Next Friday, day after Thanksgiving, link up with him. I'm sure he'll be signing autographs. I'm sure they'll have some merch. So pretty cool, man. But we will catch you on Saturday morning for our live pregame show. We're out of here.